All right, guys, we are moving along to question number 17 on our digital SAT math practice. This question says, a neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y equals 3,934 represents this situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of x in this context? So x is with the 2, which is something with the park and not the residential area. So we can eliminate those two. And let's see what makes more sense. The average number of trees per hectare in the park. 2 acres times the average number of trees per hectare. That makes sense. Or the total number of trees in the park. 2 times the total number of trees in the park. No, that's not it. It's got to be the average. Otherwise, there'd be the trees in the park would be counted twice, and that it's only the total number of trees in the neighborhood. Yeah, I didn't find any practice like this on IXL, but this is in Khan Academy in this section where it's titled, if you want to practice this, Khan Academy, Interpreting Linear Functions is this topic. And then question number 18 says, the graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of stock from company B, Y, that Simone can purchase. Which equation could represent this relationship? And I can see we have a negative slope. So A and C would immediately be out for me. And then we have a y-intercept of 40 and an x-intercept of 60. So if we took our 480 divided by 12, that would give us our 40. That would give us our y-intercept. So we would have our answer here. But also, if you're not super strong at reading linear equations, you can use your Desmos calculator for this question, and literally just plug in the equations. Y equals 8x plus 12. My y-intercept is nowhere near 40. My x-intercept is nowhere near 60. So yeah, no way. And then when you try answer choice B, 8x plus 12. Y equals 480. Look at that. We've got a y-intercept at 40, and an x-intercept at 60, which is a match to our graph here. So, of course, B is the correct answer. And if you want practice for more similar questions to this on IXL, if Khan Academy is not your jam, I found lesson VUT to be similar. And then question number 19, circle A has a radius of 3n and circle B has a radius of 129n, where n is a positive constant. The area of circle B is how many times the area of circle A? Circle B is area of circle B is how many times the area of circle A? So the area of B divided by the area of A. And if you look on the reference sheet, right, I X'd out of my blue book, so I can't flip and show you where the reference sheet is again really fast, but make sure you know where to find the reference sheet. The area of a circle is pi times the radius squared, and circle B has a radius of 129n squared over pi times the radius of circle A is 3n squared. And I'm kind of curious if I could just leave it like that, or if I need to just make up a number for n. Pi is right here. Type in my parentheses 129 n squared divided by pi times 3n squared. And no, it's not giving me anything. So I can, let's see, if n is 1, it's 1,849 by just clicking on that slider button. If n is 5, it's still that. If n is 8, it's still that. No matter what we put in for n, it's 1,849. So D is the correct answer. And if you're not familiar with that slider, right, you could just try the 5 times 5 times 5. We still get 1,849. Boom, buddy, boom. And an IXL, there's similar practice to this. If you look at lesson YA8. And we can keep on going to question number 20. This says the frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in a data set. What is the maximum data value in the data set? These are the data values. Doesn't ask anything about the frequency. Doesn't ask anything about that. Just what is the maximum data value? What does maximum mean? It's just the biggest, right? What's the biggest data value? It's 14. I think that's kind of one of these deceptively easy SAT questions. You don't really expect to see a question that easy on the SAT. Moving on to question number 21. A circle in the XY plane has a diameter with endpoints 2, 4, and 2, 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 9 squared equals r squared, where r is a positive constant. What is the value of r? This r happens to be in our circle equation representing the thing that's always an r in a circle, which is the radius. And they gave you the endpoints of the diameter. So both of these are at 2, and then the y's go. So the x's are both at 2, and the y's go from 4 to 14. How much does that go up? It goes up 10. So the diameter of the circle is 10. And what is the diameter of a circle? The diameter contains the middle, and it goes all the way across. And what is a radius of a circle? A radius contains the middle, and it goes all the way to the end. So if our diameter is 10, our radius, R, has to be 5. And that's it for that question. Similar practice to this on IXL. I would pick lesson GVH. And then moving on to question number 22. The measure of angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians. The measure of angle T is 5 pi over 12 radians greater than the measure of angle R. What is the measure of angle T in degrees? So if angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians, and this one is 5 pi over 12 radians greater for angle T, what do I have to do with these two radians? Right, I gotta add them together. Add them up. How do we work with radians? I mostly work with algebra in my class, so I had to remember some things that were a long time ago for me in geometry, way longer than you, I'm sure. And on the reference sheet, they tell you that a circle has 2 pi radians, and they tell you that a circle has 360 degrees. In a circle, okay? So that means that pi, I can cut both of those in two. Pi radians is like 180 degrees. So I can just take out pi and multiply times 180 instead. I'm going to put that right in the calculator. 2 times 180 plus 5 times 180, and that gives me my answer, 195 degrees. So we just sub in 180 for the pi to convert radians to degrees. And I did find IXL practice like this, and it was lesson NJ9. We did this in class on Friday or Thursday, I think, with my 7th period, and we were able to get through these really fast, even though in our class we mostly focus on algebra. We were able to get this geometry topic pretty quick with that IXL lesson. Question number 23. A certain town has an area of 4 3600 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town? And they're reminding you that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. When you get this question, you might be tempted to just say 4.36 times 1,760. But in order to multiply by this 1,760, we would have to be in miles. We're not in miles. We are in square miles. So if 1 mile is 1,760 yards, we would need to find out square miles equals how many square yards before we can convert. So square miles we could say a 1 times 1 equals 1 square mile. The big equals how many square yards? 1,760 times 1,760. Bigger number, okay? So we have to take this answer and then multiply it by our 4.36 square miles. So 1760 squared times 4.36, and we're at our 13 million over here. And if you just did 1,760 times 4.36, you would have had a smaller number. And again, I did find some similar IXL practice to this for you. And it was lesson EHV. And let's see. We're getting close to the end of the first half of this test. Question number 24 says for line H, the table shows 3 values of X and their corresponding values of Y. Line K is the result of translating H down 5 units in the XY plane. What is the x-intercept of line K? And they're not telling you whether this is linear, quadratic, exponential. So let's look at the values and find out what we're working with. 18 to 23, our x values goes up 5. Meanwhile, our y values goes from 130 to 160, goes up 30. And the next one, we go up 3. And 160 to 178, we go up 18. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So every time it's going up 6. So that's our slope, up 6 over 1. And from here, I wish I knew a way to go straight to the calculator to plug that in, but I think you would have to have your slope-intercept form of a linear equation memorized right here. Y minus y1 equals m, your slope, times x minus x1. Or your slope-intercept format, y equals mx plus b. Maybe this is a little bit easier for my students. I think they're more comfortable using the slope-intercept format. So I would go here. And we can find when x is 0, what y would be. When x is 0, right, we got to go down 18. So we got to go down 18 times 6 for the y to 108. So 130 minus 108 is 22 for your y-intercept. So now we have the slope, y equals 6x plus your y-intercept 22. And now we have to translate it down 5 units. So we're just going to subtract 5. And it says, what is the x-intercept of this line? So now we can graph it. Y equals 6x plus 22 minus 5. And your x-intercept is out here at negative 2 and 833 thousandths. Negative 2 and 833 thousandths. doesn't give us the fraction, but we can check these and find out which one is equal to about 2 and 833 thousandths. So negative 26 thirds, not it. 9 over 2, not it. 11 over 3, not it. 17 over 6. There it is. Correct answer is D. And if you were going from this equation here, you would just, you would have had, let's see, y minus, you could use any of these y values from the chart equals your slope 6 times x minus the corresponding x value and then to translate it down 5, it would still, I believe, be the same line. Let me double check. Y minus 130 equals 6 times x minus 18 minus 5. Yeah, it's the same exact line here because it just went on top of the other one. With to translate it down 5, you can just put the minus 5 on the end. So you don't have to, of course, on the SAT solve it both ways. You choose your method that you are most comfortable with. And since we're getting towards the higher numbers on this section, we're really on, some of the more difficult questions for SAT here. Question number 25 says, in the xy plane, the graph of the equation y equals negative x squared plus 9x minus 100 intersects the line y equals c at exactly 1 point. What is the value of c? Y equals negative x squared plus 9x minus 100. Looks like it jumped down here to about 79.75. So our line would need to be y equals negative 481 over 4. Nope, that intersects 2 times. Negative 100 would intersect 2 times. Negative 319 over 4. There it is. It intersects exactly 1 time. And of course, negative 9 over 2 would not intersect at all. It's way up there. So that is our correct answer for number 25. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish up questions 26 and 27 so that we're done with the first half of the math practice here. Question number 26. For each real number r, which of the following points lies on the graph of each equation in the xy plane for the given system? 2x plus 3y equals 7. And if we look at the graphs of these, they're actually exactly the same. 2x plus 3y equals 7 is the exact same line for 10x plus 15y equals 35, because everything here you just multiplied by 5. So it's the same line on top of the same line. And let's say that I want to look at these ones where we have the r by itself. When x is 1, no, when y is 1 here for the first one, right? When y is 1, take it back home. When y is 1, x is 2. So if we said negative 3 times 1 over 2 plus 7 over 2, we do get 2. B is correct for when r is 1. When r, let's see, when y is 1, where's another one that's in a corner right here? When it's negative 1, when y is negative 1, over here, then x is 5. So answer choice B works for both of those. And what about when y is... what is that y? That y is 3. Positive 3. We should get negative 1. We do get negative 1. So this here, answer choice B, works for whatever we put in for r. It works on this equation here. Whatever we put here, we get a match to our graph here. So B is the correct answer. And question number 27, the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters. The height of this triangle is k square root of 3 centimeters, where k is a constant. What is the value of k? Now, if I was taking the SAT, this is probably where I'm out of time and I'm not making it to this question. But since we're just practicing, we've got time here. Equilateral triangle means all 3 sides are the same. So 624 divided by 3 tells us that each side of the triangle is 208 centimeters. And the height of the triangle is k square root of 3 centimeters. Our height equals k square root of 3. And we want to find out what is the value of k. So right here, I'm going to just look at half of my equilateral triangle. This side stays 208. My height is k square root of 3. And when I am looking at half of my triangle, I'm going to cut the base in half. So instead of 208, it's going to be 104. And we can use our Pythagorean theorem to find what k square root of 3 is equal to. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse. The longest side is across from the 90-degree angle. So that's 208 squared. And that we can just say a and b. So 104 squared plus b squared equals, so b equals the square root of 208 squared minus 104 squared. And I can put that on the calculator. 208 squared minus 104 squared. B equals the square root of 3,448 equals k square root of 3. So I know I can divide that by 3. If I just put that in parentheses, I get 10,816 and 10,816, oopsies, and I should be able to take the square root of that. 10,816, and I get 104. So our rules for working with those radicals, right? That our answer is going to be 100. It's going to be 104. I think I could have used my ratios. 1 square root of 3. 2. Look at that. 30, 60, 90 triangle. Our ratios for a 30, 60, 90 triangle. K equals 104 because a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle are in the ratios of 1 square root of 3, 2. So if this was 104 and this was 208, it was always going to be 104 times the square root of 3. I went the long way, could have gone the short way. Anyways, an IXL lesson similar to this, where you have word problems for the Pythagorean theorem, was IXL lesson QWT. I hope that you found these first few videos here for SAT digital math practice helpful, and I hope to be able to add a little bit more to this before you have to take your SAT. I know my students are taking this test the SAT school day this week on Wednesday, and I am wishing them all of the luck, and I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.